Hello and welcome. My name is Surya Mira from Connect Yoga. Welcome back for another Flow Friday video. My goal here in this space is to provide you with accessible and practical yoga flows to incorporate into your daily life, no matter your age, your level, and to really provide convenience for you to do this in the comfort of your own home. Go ahead and take a moment to like, subscribe, and click on the bell to sign up for live updates for every new release every single Friday. Be the first to know and stay in the know. Today's video is all about cutting to the core. Yoga poses to help strengthen and engage your core muscles, and that looks like more active poses or more passive poses where you just need to engage the core, which is a powerhouse, the center of the body that really helps support in almost every yoga pose that you do, but these poses are specifically made to feel the strength and the activation within the core muscles. So we'll go ahead and get started. In this flow, technically no props are needed. I always have my blocks nearby just in case, but you don't need a block, blanket, none of that. So for now, I'm gonna set my blocks off to the side, and we'll just begin with a few grounding breaths just to bring our awareness into the space, into our practice for today. So if you want to come in a seated or a kneeling position, whatever feels best for you, and just begin to close the eyes or soften your gaze. And we'll begin by releasing all the air from our belly, and we'll inhale together for a count of 3, 2, 1, pause. And exhale slow for 3, 2, and 1. 2 more times. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Pause. And exhale for 3, 2, and 1. Last time. Big inhale. Fill the belly up through the heart space. Lift through the chest and pause. An audible exhale, side all out of the mouth. And return to your natural cadence of breath. Begin to gently blink open the eyes. Bring your awareness back into the space. So we'll start out by warming up the core a little bit. So maybe your core feels a little tight or a little stiff. So we'll start out with a few cat-cows just to invite some extension into the core before we move into flexion, which is where we'll feel more of the activation. So bring your palms onto the ground, come onto your knees, your fingers are widespread, wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. And we'll send our tailbone high to the sky, drop your belly low, open through the heart, gaze is up. Here you'll immediately feel the extension through the belly. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone forward, draw the navel into the spine, round up to the upper back, chin into the chest. And here you might feel a little bit more engagement for the core, but we'll feel that way more during our practice. So 2 more times just like that. Inhale. And exhale to round out through the spine. Draw the chin to the chest. Really press the mat away. And last time. Move the spine like a snake, being very intentional about the movement here. And exhale to round out. And we'll come back to center into our tabletop pose. So here you're even very intentional and mindful about the core. So oftentimes in our poses we dump our belly down or forward, and so when I refer to drawing the navel into the spine, you're literally imagining your navel going into the direction of your spine, and you're slightly tucking the tailbone forward and doing so, and you'll feel a mild engagement of the core muscles here. So even in our tabletop we feel that, but we'll definitely feel that engagement even more. So from here, keep your palms where they are and begin to extend one leg long and then the other, and we immediately land into our plank pose. So in our plank here, this is a commonly known pose, especially for core work as well as arms. So we're very intentional here. So our palms are pressed firm, fingers are widespread, and we're almost clawing into the ground with our fingers. Our wrists are under our shoulders, and our hips are pretty low. So our hips aren't too high, our hips aren't sagging towards the ground. We're creating this line of symmetry from the crown of the head all the way to the heels of our feet, where we're shooting energy out of to engage the legs, the core, and the arms. Another thing to note here, our bellies aren't dropped like this. So imagine that same motion coming here from here and making our way here. So make that small change in your body if you need to invite that core engagement. So you might be here, but you're gonna go here. And hold for just a couple more breaths here. Remembering to breathe and slowly lower down onto the knees from here. Nice. If you need to, go ahead and wiggle out the arms, shake, shake, shake. We're gonna take a very similar pose, side plank. And I should also mention, if you happen to have any wrist injuries, then side plank or plank pose you'll want to do on your forearm. So instead of being in the full expression of plank, you're here instead, and be very mindful of your hips, because you might want to come here. So bring your hips down while still keeping your navel drawn in towards your spine. And with side plank pose, same option. So I actually have a little bit of a finicky wrist on the left side, so I am actually going to come onto my forearm so I don't provoke pain in the body. Another modification for side plank, if you come onto your palm, it's to come onto the same knee and then extend your arm long, okay? And this serves the same benefits. You'll still feel this in the obliques on the side that's closer to the ground, so whatever works best for you. But if you're going to come onto your arm, your hand, or your forearm, go ahead and extend both legs long. Your elevated arm can go nice and high. You can rest your hand onto your hip, really whatever feels best. I like to extend my arm up high, and sometimes I switch motions as I go. If it feels good, you can even take a couple hip dips for an added challenge. Getting in some mobility into the oblique. Take one more breath here. And slowly begin to lower the hips all the way down onto the ground. We're going to take that on the other side. All right? So coming on to the opposite side here, your left side, always starting on the right. So your forearm onto the ground or your palm. Since I did one side on the forearm, I'm going to do the other one as well, just to balance out my body. But if you did it on your palm with one knee up or down, then I would suggest doing that on the other side so your body gets an even challenge. So coming onto the forearm for me, palm face down, I'm going to extend my legs long and begin to lift my hips off of the ground. So you want to be mindful of the shoulder here. So your shoulder, your head isn't dipped into your shoulder like this. You want to press through your forearm or your palm so much so that you're naturally able to lift your head away from the shoulder, okay? And your hips aren't low, your hips are nice and elevated. So think about lifting your hips a little higher than they already are. Take another breath here. You can even feel the oblique on the left side activate, and slowly begin to lower all the way down. And you might, just might, already feel some engagement going on in the core area. So now the infamous yoga pose, boat pose, everybody's favorite, not really. So go ahead and sit onto your glutes here. And a few options for this pose. So you can keep your feet on the ground the entire time if that feels good to you. If you decide to lift the knees into the chest, you can do so with your arms extended, or for some additional support, you can bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. You can also extend your legs out long, making a V with your body here. Whatever you choose, it's also important to maybe lift the fleshy parts out from under you first, so that way you're creating space in your hips and you aren't rounding so much through your back here, because this is not what we want. We want this. We want to really roll our shoulders back, open through the heart, and keep our tailbone slightly back so that our core has space to engage. So as we make our way into boat pose, find the integrity here. And as you're ready, inhale to lower halfway into low boat. So hover above your mat, feel the core engage, and draw the knees in, lift the upper body, exhale, high boat. 2 more times just like that. Inhale to find length, and exhale to contract. Last time. Inhale, find length, hold, and exhale to contract. Nice. I needed the assistance of the backs of my thighs here because I'm definitely feeling it. So back into the low boat here. Some options you can do here on your own time are to flutter kick the legs side by side. You can scissor the legs one on top of the other, and you will really feel this in the core. And we're gonna release. Let everything go. I know I feel it. I'm sure you do too. So from here, lying completely on our backs, begin to extend your legs up nice and long to the sky. And gently just allow your toes to come towards your face. So flexing towards your face. You don't need to be super active in the legs here. Reach your fingertips towards your toes. And we're gonna take some toe touches. So we're gonna do them for a count of 5. If you'd like to do more, you can definitely pause this video, take what you need and come back. So as you're ready, begin to inhale and reach for 5, 4, exhale as you lower, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Again, take what you need if you wish to take more than that. Moving into bicycles. So this is one that we're probably all very familiar with. So interlace your fingers behind your head. Lift your head up slightly off of the earth. And your shoulders might even come off a little bit, but not drastically. And you want to make sure your head isn't dumping too much into your hands and that your elbows aren't squeezing in too much towards each other. So you want a kind of light, relaxed feeling here, because you don't want to be carrying the head through this because that takes away from the work being done in the core. So as you're ready, keeping the knees bent in towards the chest. As I draw one elbow in towards the opposite knee, the elbow that I'm drawing over that side, that leg is going to extend long. And as I lower back down, I draw that knee back in and I lower my head. So our head isn't all the way off of the ground. So we're gonna take this 5 times on each side. So begin to tap right elbow, left knee, right leg extends long. And come back to center. Opposite side, left elbow, right knee. And we're back. 4 more times. You got this. Move at a pace that feels good to you. And it might be helpful to extend that leg nice and long. And just 2 more times. I'm right here with you. Continue to breathe. Exhale as you contract. Inhale to extend. And we find stillness. Lower the head, lower the feet. And your core should be on fire right now. So go ahead and just windshield wiper out the legs for a moment. Release the core, the low back, which oftentimes if the muscles within your core aren't necessarily strong, I don't normally use the term weak, but if they are on the weaker side, then we overcompensate and use our back muscles. So it's super important to know how to properly engage our core so we can start emphasizing the use of those muscles and relax the back muscles. So if you tend to do a lot of core work and find that your low back is hurting, that's why, because you're targeting those muscles that are more than likely stronger than your core muscles, and that can cause an overworking of those muscles, because that's not the area of your body that's supposed to be engaged when you're working on your core. Fun fact. So we'll come on to our backs and bridge pose. So bring the soles of your feet onto the earth, about hip width distance. Your palms can be face down for now. Walk your shoulder blades underneath the back, so you're creating more space in your chest, and begin to lift your hips off of the earth. Option to bring the shoulder blades closer to one another, creating more space. You can interlace your fingers behind the low back. You can reach your hands for the respective ankle, lifting your hips even higher than before. And this is really to stretch out the core muscles. So it's super important to stretch out these muscles before and after your practice. So warming them up, but also cooling them down. Take another couple of breaths here. And slowly begin to lower down one vertebra at a time. I always love a counter stretch after doing that. So draw the knees into the chest, forehead into the knees, lengthening through the back, the spine. And slowly lower your head and your feet down. And get up back to seated however you prefer. I'm going to cross my ankles and just take a nice roll forward. You can roll over into a fetal position and press yourself up. So this was just a mild taste of some of the poses that you can incorporate into your daily practice, whether it be at the gym or at home, to engage the core. If you have some core goals that you're wishing to obtain, these are some excellent poses to do. So I hope this helps you. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. If you liked what you saw today, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to receive live updates from every Friday when new videos are released. If you have any questions, comments, or special requests for future videos, go ahead and drop it in the comments. And know that with my business Connect Yoga, I also offer weekly virtual sessions as well as private one-on-one and group sessions for any of your needs. So check out the website below, and I'll see you next Friday.